cooking for Jeff, helping with his thesis project. The moon snail has a special organ called a radula, which it uses to drill right through the shell of a poor, helpless little blue-eyed scallop. Sarah, who was 13 and a champion of all animals, gulped hard. The scallop can't get away, continued Toby, smiling rather meanly. It just has to sit there while the moon snail drills away at its shell. What happens then? Asked Elizabeth, directing her question at Jeff. She was 17 and would continue her education in the fall at Chamberlain College in Boston. In the meantime, she was looking for more excitement than her summer job as a chambermaid at the Queen Victoria Inn could offer. Well, replied Jeff, growing a bit red around the collar. The snail sucks out the clam and eats it for dinner, just like we're doing. This chowder is delicious. Lucy's a great cook, when she bothers to take the time, said Bill, from his seat at the head of the table. That's how it was with Bill these days, she thought. Always that note of criticism. She'd first noticed it last fall, when he was out of work for a few weeks. He'd promptly gotten another job, and their finances had soon recovered, but not Bill's spirits. Hopefully it was just a temporary phase, a little bout of insecurity. She hoped so. She was tired of constantly struggling to keep her temper. Not that she always managed to succeed. What time? She asked, her voice rising in pitch. Between work and the kids' schedules, there's no time to make dinner from scratch. She looked at her husband. Now that school's out, I'm hoping we can have more family dinners. Bill's expression was doubtful. Since you're working full-time, how's that going to happen? It's going to be pizza, hamburgers, and more pizza. Lucy changed the subject. Would anyone like seconds? Don't mind if I do, said Jeff, passing his bowl over for a refill. So, Jeff, said Bill, passing his bowl too, what is this research project all about, anyway? Not snails, I bet. Not snails, lobsters. As I'm sure you know, there's been a sudden drop in the population, and I want to find out why. I thought it was overfishing, said Lucy, who worked as a reporter at the local weekly newspaper and was familiar with the problem. Declining catches and increased regulations had brought the industry to near collapse, and tensions were running high on the waterfront as fishermen, some of whom were the sons and grandsons of seafaring men, saw their traditional way of life threatened. Well, that's part of the problem, but the fishermen say they're seeing a lot more sick and diseased lobsters that they can't sell. If we can find out what's going on, we may be able to keep the stock healthier. What does it matter? Asked Sarah with a resigned sigh. They'll kill them anyway. It's jobs, silly, said Toby, his voice weary with the weight of the knowledge and sophistication he'd acquired in his freshman year. This is Maine. Lobsters are big business. Well, I don't think it makes any difference to the lobsters, Sarah answered self-righteously. A honk sounded in the driveway, and she jumped to her feet. Where do you think you're going? Demanded Bill. The movies. Mom said it was okay. I did? I don't remember that. You know, with Jessica and Caitlin and Megan. I haven't seen them since school got out a whole week ago. I must have forgotten, said Lucy. Bill looked to Jeff for sympathy. If I had $1 for everything she's forgotten lately. Who's driving? Asked Lucy. Caitlin's mom, and she's bringing us home, too. Okay, but remember you have to get up early tomorrow. Sarah and Zoe both went to the day camp at the local Friends of Animals shelter, and Sarah was a counselor in training. It was the cheapest camp Lucy could find, but the girls' camp fees were the main reason Lucy had switched from part-time to full-time at the paper. Sarah ran out, letting the screen door slam behind her. I don't know why we can't ever seem to have a family dinner anymore, grumbled Bill. When I was a kid, my mom made. Things have changed so